a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay at home, Disney Dad.
No idea what I'm in for, but the first trailer on this VHS tape is about Fox Mulder and strippers and guns. It's called Playing God, and oh my god, it's Adult August. That's it. One and done. Feature presentation, scrolling blue Disney logo. Caravan Pictures presents Rocketman. Little boy playing spaceman in the dryer is our opening scene. Someone comes in and turns on the dryer and he spins and tumbles, and this, my friends, is a sign of the time. Kids and appliances ceased to be funny many years ago, so this is not aged well. Usually I shrug my shoulders and stay out of the hole. Back in my day, we didn't need warnings. We weren't stupid kids. We were smarter than that. We just knew better. But to be honest, getting into a dryer is dangerous as hell and not cool, and kids really die this way every day. And it's the Malcolm in the Middle little kid. His dad asks why he can't just play football like the other normal kids. Now we go 20 years later into the future. He's an astronaut now. His ship's in trouble. It crashes, and they all die. Wow, what? Oh no, it was a simulation. They were just in a simulator pod, and I don't think it was actually him, it was other people. Also, this is a demo tape, and I'm supposed to call this number if it's fallen into the wrong hands. Shall I call this number at the end of the movie? Would that be fun? See who picks up. Here comes Harlan Williams, the 6-minute abs guy from Something About Mary. And here's what's happening. Okay, the training astronauts claim the simulator is flawed, and this guy is the guy who developed the simulator. So they bring him in, and he says, "It's not my program." He says, "It's not broken. Let me show you. I'll initiate a sequence I call the right way." Okay, that is really funny. He's troubleshooting the program. Is like, "No, it's not broken. Your astronauts just suck." And then one dude takes a spinning model to the head. Now we're at the NASA headquarters. The guy that got hit in the head with a spinning model has a skull fracture. NASA boss wants to postpone the trip to Mars. There are severe sandstorms coming anyway. If they delay now, they'll lose their window though, and they won't be able to launch for another 2 years. And if they do wait that long, the world will lose faith in NASA. They could sub in one of 2 people. One is Gordon Peacock, but he hasn't tested well. They say, "Well, test him again." Who's the other? Hard cut to Harlan getting clearance to come into the NASA headquarters. Did I already mention this is a demo copy? This warning runs constantly through this entire video. This is a full-length screener for video home rental stores. His name is Fred Randall. He goes into the part of NASA where they're training monkeys. He meets Julie Ford, and she's the monkey trainer, and he's like, "Oh, are you going to be my roommate?" No, the monkey is going to be her roommate, and sorry, it's a chimpanzee, his roommate. They're still doing there's water on Mars, so there could be life on Mars talk back in 1997 that continues today. Wild. The boss and Julie are like, "Let's have words in a separate room." And then in the background, the chimpanzee bites Fred's hand, and he shakes him around, they destroy lab stuff. This is exactly like the dog on the butt moment in Something About Mary a few years later. Now he's leaving his house to go to NASA, and his mom accuses him from running away from home. That's pretty funny. He's rooming with the chimpanzee now in a motel. He leaves and goes to a strip club. His astronaut friends take him to the bar, and they're like, "We're going to have astronaut drinks." And he goes, "Like Tang?" That's funny. Jump cut, and he's drunk, and he's dancing in a spacesuit. Julie Ford shows up, and he drags her onto the dance floor, and he spins her, and they fall down. And she's like, "This isn't a frat party, this is NASA. We need someone to replace Gary or the mission fails, so don't be a dick." He's back at the hotel, and he's drunk, and there's thunder, and it's scaring the chimpanzee. So he cuddles the chimpanzee and sings a monkey song to the chimpanzee. I'll be honest, I can't tell if this is a good movie or not. Like, they have one really funny moment, and then they have one really stupid moment. It's very uneven, but also even in its unevenness. He shows up for work, and he sees his competition, Mr. Peacock. They're put into these 24-hour isolation chamber pods to see if they can hack it. We get a split screen of them. Fred is talking to his Echo. Remember when I said this movie has a good scene, then a dumb one? Yeah, this is the latter. So the VHS case said he was from Dumb and Dumber. Doesn't he drink a bottle of piss? Wasn't he the cop that drank piss in Dumb and Dumber? Maybe they're going for like a Dumb and Dumber vibe here in this movie. I don't know. Maybe it's landing for that audience. Like, I love Dumb and Dumber, but I'm pretty sure it was only because I watched it when I was a teenager. Maybe I'd react the same way to Dumb and Dumber watching it now as an adult for the first time as I am to Rocketman. I don't know. Did that make sense? I don't know. There's a passage of time montage of him slowly losing his mind, and you think it's been like 16 hours or something, but in reality, it's been 16 minutes. See, now that is funny. That paid off. Next, they do the G-Force spin simulator. Peacock does it, and he doesn't puke until he gets off, and Randall says, "Oh, I probably shouldn't have had that blue cheese and liverwurst sandwich." And then he pukes, and he gets docked marks. So they put Fred in next, and he loves it. It's like an exhibition ride. He's yelling, "Faster! Faster!" until the pod snaps clean off and sends him flying through NASA, through walls, where he almost kills some nuns and children. Then he runs into poor Gary, the astronaut, with a head injury, he's still in a wheelchair, and he goes flying against the wall. And, like, that was stupid funny. 10 days before launch, they're now blowing into a tube, trying to keep a ping pong ball in the air. The record is 3 minutes, and Fred accidentally kicks Peacock in the nuts, so he drops his ping pong ball. He's out. Fred breaks the breathing record and wins the prize contest. There's a press conference where Julie and the team are answering questions about the launch, and they're asked if they have replaced the missing astronaut, and the guy at the mic panics on the spot. He looks around, and he says, "Yes, Fred Randall." We jump to launch day, and he's being his annoying self as the professionals do their thing around him. They count down, and he sneezes into his helmet as soon as they hit one. The shuttle launches. Like, what is the plot of this movie? Like, for real. What's the story arc? They orbit, and now he's just annoying the team in space. They go live with an interview with the president, and Fred Randall bumbles into the frame, and he has like a Stanley Spadowski moment where he just like falls into a bizarre motivational speech. He starts singing, "He's got the whole world in his hands," and the president starts singing, and then we cut to everyone everywhere around the world singing along to this idiot. Again, I have no idea if this is funny or not. We go from that to him and Julie having a moment as soon as they realize they both named stars after themselves when they were kids. He tells her to wish upon a star, and then he breaks into song. And you know, credit where it's due, he does a pretty good Jiminy Cricket, I'll give him that, as he sings "When You Wish Upon a Star" to Julie. They go to the cryogenic sleeping pods, where they're going to go sleep for 9 months and wake up when they hit Mars. The chimpanzee takes his pod, so he tries to get into the chimpanzee pod, but it doesn't seal all the way because he's too big. So the sleeping spray sprays him asleep, but he wakes up after a while, and everyone else is still asleep in their pod. Is this the plot? That he's alive and alone on a spacecraft for 9 months? He realizes he was only asleep for 13 minutes. This is kind of fun. Montage of him wasting time. They go back to this joke again. The montage make it looks like he passed the 9 months, but it's only been like 1 day. It's suddenly been 6 months for real, and he has long hair. He makes contact with the dude back at NASA. Fred has re-looked at the Mars weather, and he sees a new sandstorm coming, and tells his friends back at NASA, who tells his boss, and his boss is like, "No, the mission continues." 8 months is over. He and her and the chimpanzee wake up and realize that this guy's been awake for 8 months. He painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, and it's pretty funny. He painted himself as God with Julie at his side. The other guy, Wild Bill Overbeck, starts screaming at him because they're out of most rations, but now it's time to land on Mars. They land on Mars, and Wild Bill, the decorated astronaut, is going to be the first man to step foot on Mars, but of course, as he's coming down the ladder, Fred falls past him and technically becomes the first person on Mars. They walk around Mars and bicker. He drops the American flag down a crater, but to save it, he takes off his American flag boxer shorts and hangs them up on the pole instead. Then the depletion imminent alarm goes off. Wild Bill has a leaky air pipe, so he has to link to Fred. Fred starts farting, and the fart bubble crosses the hose and goes into Wild Bill's suit, and the stink goes like into his face, and 5-year-olds laugh everywhere. It wasn't funny enough the first time, so this joke repeats itself over and over. He tries to blame it on Julie, and that's kind of funny. They check the readings, and the sandstorm is indeed coming early. He's also wearing a Planters Peanut shirt now, and that's really awesome for some reason. The main guy is like, "No, we're staying until I get my fossil." Julie has his back, though. She's like, "If we don't leave before the sandstorm hits, we don't leave." They agree to check the storm readings in the morning and decide then. They wake up, and it turns out Wild Bill took the chimp, and he's out looking for fossils. But after a fight, the people back at NASA decide, they need to abort the mission and get this team home as soon as possible. They're like, "Launch now," but the chimpanzee and Wild Bill are still gone. They're like, we have to leave in the next 20 minutes. Fred goes, I'm gonna go get them. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, Julie, go without me. And then she kisses him through his helmet. And that was, I don't know, kind of funny. Of course, he rescues Bill and the chimp, but it's like right down to the wire. This scene was like 10 minutes, but honestly not much to write about. They launch right at the buzzer. They miss the sandstorm, but just when they're in the clear, there's now a meteorite shower, because of course there is, so more last-second drama. He manages to save everyone by jamming this gift coin. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before. I don't think I did. He was given a good luck coin before launch, but now he takes this coin and he jams into the control panel, and that does something that needed to be done. So they get home and he asks Julie out. She says no. But then in the weirdest moment in a Disney movie ever, he reveals that in his 8 months alone on the spacecraft, he made a tuxedo and dress out of space tinfoil. They wear these and they dance to the legit original Disney version of When You Wish Upon a Star. They make out, and that was super weird and also awesome. Using famous cartoon music in Disney's other live movies must be a giant legal headache, or they would do it often. They're going on another mission and going into another 8-month slumber, and he misses his pod closing again, and that's the end of the movie. And they play the actual Elton John Rocketman over the credits. So they took the money they saved on script writers and actors and gave it to Elton John, and, you know, probably made the right call. And Rocketman serenades us as the movie Summer and Adult August fade to black.
Thank you for calling the Motion Picture Association Canada. If you know the extension of the person you are calling, please enter it now. For the company's directory, please press the number sign. For reception, please press 0. For media inquiries, please dial extension 74. One moment, please. You've reached our general mailbox. Please leave us a detailed message, including the name of the person you are trying to reach, and we will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hi, yeah, this is Curtis. I recently came into possession of a 1997 demo tape of Disney's Rocketman. I purchased it from a thrift store, and I started watching it, and there was a warning across the bottom that said, if you ever purchase this, call this number. I wasn't sure if that's still something you checked in on or not. It's a 1997 version of Disney's Rocketman, and I did purchase a demo tape. Feel free to give me a call back if you want.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long.